Hi. Okay, hopefully you're feeling much, much better. And that's why you're looking at the video. So, we started last week, of course, with a souling. So, what you're trying to do this week, if you've been doing your exercise of one finger per fret, hopefully you're doing that too. And the music stands right in my way. I'm going to scoot over just a little. I can't scoot over. Anyway, sorry. If you look at that at fret 2, your first finger's on 2, your second finger would be on 3, and your pinky would end up on 5. So now you're going to try to do a soloing that way, and then fourth finger, because it's on fret 5, is closest to fret 7, so it'll slide up there like that. And then in part B, you can use first and second finger, or you can shift back and use second and third finger. I like that way better. And then part D, 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can finish with the E major chord, which is on that page, and I think you already know it anyway. So that's part D. Part D is the E minor scale, which ends in an E major chord, proving that it's music theory and not music fact. If it was music fact, you couldn't end on a major chord after playing a minor scale, unless you did a relative. We'll get to that later. Okay, so one finger per fret is the basic rule for the guitar, and you're trying to do that. Remember, we tried that last week. Now, it's going to be a lot harder now that you have a classical like this is. I'm using my classical to match your sound. It's a much wider neck, it's a much flatter neck, but the strings are much easier on your fingers. So a little plus and a little minus there. The classical guitar, traditionally known as a classical guitar, it has been used in every genre of music. Okay, it's used in flamenco. It's been used in country music. What's his name? The guy with the ponytails. I can't. The Hank. No, it's not Hank Williams. Kenny Rogers. I think it's Kenny Rogers. No, I don't think it's Kenny Rogers. Willie Nelson. There he is. I had to go through the list of guys. Willie Nelson. His primary guitar has always been a nylon string. It's just the sound he likes. Always go with what you like. Okay, now, hopefully you've got your chord chart. If I didn't send you the chord chart, if I didn't give you the chord chart last week because it was your first lesson, let me know and I'll email it to you. But hopefully you've been working on your 5 primary chords: C, A, G, E, and D. Caged. And then the 3 minor: E minor, A minor, D minor. So the 3 bass strings. So you have your bass and your treble strings. You have your melody strings, generally speaking, and you have your root note, bass, low, all that kind of groovy stuff, strings. Now, we're going to look at D major 7. On your sheet, it has first finger lying flat across 1, 2, and 3 and strumming from 4. Now, another way that you can do this in the beginning is taking an A chord and moving it down 1 string. But I want you to try to practice this one too. All right, so I want you to start with a D chord to the D major 7, and again, I'm going to use that fingering. So 1, 3, 2, 1, all on 2nd fret. E minor. So notice 1 and 2 just came straight up to 5th and 4th string. To the G, and that's why I use that fingering for the E minor, so that finger doesn't have to move. To an A. So for the entire time, 1st finger's in 2nd string. And then, one more time, and then we'll work on the rhythm. D, D major 7, E minor, G, A. So if you follow my hand there, if you watch on that right hand, you start with your 1st chord, and here you do something we don't normally do, but to create the correct rhythm, we use all downstrokes quickly. Then on the E minor, swing, G, A, a little faster. So when you're doing your right hand rhythm, you're trying to do more from the elbow, unless you're going fast, and then you're trying to do wrist. And there's your verse part. So working on your chords, C, A, G, E, D, that is a daily task. E minor, A minor, D minor, daily task. Trying to do your exercise, do not let it get frustrating. Just keep working on it and it'll get better. One of the things you can do is just sit there and hold your guitar with those fingers out like that. All right, so feel better soon, and I'll see you next week. Thank you.